was just cloudy at first, but I guess the rain's coming down now. It's one of those days too where it seems like a lot of people aren't actually prepared for it. And what was going on today? I guess lots about drones and weaponized ones, I guess you could say. How about this one? This is probably like the epitome of the fear that a lot of people have, I guess you could say. This one says, drone falls on school in Saudi Aseer province. No injuries, state media. A drone rigged with explosives fell on a school in Saudi Arabia's Aseer province on Sunday. Saudi state TV and state news agencies said, adding no injuries were reported. The agency said civil defense authorities had received a report that a projectile launched from Yemen by the Houthi movement had fallen on a school in Aseer. The projectile turned out to be a drone, the agency reported. So a drone rigged with explosives. I'm actually curious because there's no pictures or anything like that, whether or not this was a quote consumer drone or if it's basically one designed to do stuff like this. And I guess that theme with the story of weaponized drones continued today. It's kind of interesting because this one actually deals with things like military and stuff like that. But this one here says, German army can't cope with potential drone attack, experts say. The German army is ill-equipped to defend itself against a potential attack by combat drones, which are getting increasingly complex every day. And it says here, to put it very drastically, if the Bundeswehr had had to fight Azerbaijan in this specific conflict, it would hardly have stood a chance. With weapon systems that were used, such as combat drones and kamikaze drones, we would not have been able to adequately defend ourselves. The lack of army air defense alone would have been our undoing. Although with that said, it's kind of interesting because they say they have all the technology and stuff available to deal with the situation. They're just not adapted to do so. It says to survive modern conflict, the Bundeswehr needs technologies that Germany basically possesses, but which are not used in the military, said the expert, such as sound systems or jamming capabilities. Carl said that so-called disposable drones or kamikaze drones, which are armed with explosives and used to track and attack targets, represent a new, more perfidious development in drone technology. So will this make, I guess, people still afraid of average individuals using a drone in general? Because again, stuff like this is more, I guess you could say, over the top in terms of the extreme end, because you could use anything as a weapon. But let's just see if this, I guess, increases things like hysteria and stuff like that, where people are just flying toys. And then I quickly read this, which was kind of interesting. I guess with all this COVID and stuff like that, now they're trying to find out a little more. Okay, let's see how good of a job they actually did with the government. Apparently, all the contracts with the vaccine makers, they hit a lot of details for some reason. It's kind of interesting. This one says, Canada releases redacted versions of COVID-19 vaccine contracts. The federal government released all of its largest COVID-19 vaccine contracts late on Friday, but heavy redactions prevent the public from seeing much of the relevant information, including the prices per dose and the delivery schedules for the shots. How can that even be a thing? Shouldn't all this be public information, I guess you could say? How could you hide that, like in terms of how much you paid and all that? It says, one expert said it's impossible to know whether Canada negotiated competitive prices and what assurances it negotiated for delivery schedules. And I guess as one person says here, the government took every opportunity to redact as much as possible, so clearly there are things they don't want the public to see. Again, how's that even possible? If it's government and all that, shouldn't all this again be available for everyone to see? So when it comes time to things like voting, for example, they can see, let's see how good of a job you actually did and all that. Or at the same time, if there was some shady deals or something that's really questionable. That's some cool animal clips this weekend, huh? It almost makes me want to make short, dedicated videos of it. Alright, looks like there's no flying today. I guess it's time for the archive. Alright, see you guys later.